Ever wondered how to make your dog understand you? In this video, I'll reveal 11 simple ways to bridge the communication gap with your furry friend. We all know the frustration of trying to convey our thoughts to our dogs, only to be met with a confused head tilt. But fear not, these easy-to-implement techniques will transform your relationship with your pup, making training sessions a breeze and daily life more harmonious. Stick around until the end for a surprising trick that'll have your dog hanging on your every word. Let's dive right in with our first technique, consistent verbal cues. You might think your dog understands every word you say, but the truth is, they're picking up on a lot more than just your words. They're tuning into your tone, body language, and even your facial expressions. But here's the kicker. Dogs can learn to associate specific words with actions or objects. The key is consistency. Now you might be wondering why this is so crucial. Well, stick with me, because as we go through these techniques, you'll see how they all work together to create a communication system that'll revolutionize your relationship with your dog. Imagine if every time you wanted to go for a walk, you used a different phrase. Let's hit the road, time for a stroll, walkies. Your dog would be more confused than a cat in a dog park. Instead, stick to one clear phrase, like, want to go for a walk? Use it every single time, and watch your dog's ears perk up as they start to understand exactly what you mean. But here's where it gets interesting. Did you know that dogs can learn up to 165 words? That's right, your furry friend could have the vocabulary of a 2-year-old human. But before you start teaching your dog Shakespeare, let's focus on the basics. Which leads us to our second technique, using hand signals. Now you might be thinking, hand signals? My dog's not a traffic cop. But trust me, this works like a charm. Dogs are visual learners, and combining verbal cues with hand signals can supercharge their understanding. For example, when you say sit, pair it with a hand motion, like holding your palm flat and moving it downwards. It's like giving your dog a visual cue to go along with the audio one. Speaking of sitting, did you know that the oldest known command taught to dogs is sit? It dates back to ancient Roman times. Let's not get stuck in the past though. We're here to revolutionize how you communicate with your dog in the modern world. And trust me, you'll want to hear what's coming up next, because it's a game changer for understanding your furry friend. Now I bet you're wondering, this all sounds great, but how long will it take for my dog to catch on? Well, that depends on a few factors, including your dog's age, breed, and previous training. But here's a little secret. Consistency is key. Practice these techniques for just 5 to 10 minutes a day, and you'll start seeing results faster than you can say fetch. Alright, moving on to our third technique, body language. Did you know that dogs have their own silent language? They're constantly communicating with their ears, tail, and overall posture. But here's the twist. They're also experts at reading our body language. So our third tip is to be mindful of your own body language when communicating with your dog. For instance, if you're trying to call your dog to come to you, but you're leaning away or have your arms crossed, you're sending mixed signals. Your dog might think, well, they're saying come here, but their body is saying stay away. What gives? Instead, try crouching down, arms open, with a big smile on your face. It's like rolling out the welcome mat for your furry friend. By the way, if you're finding these tips helpful, why not hit that subscribe button? There's plenty more where this came from, and you won't want to miss out on future videos. And if you think these first few tips are useful, just wait until you hear the rest. They get even better. Now let's talk about our fourth technique, tone of voice. You might not realize it, but the way you say something is just as important as what you're saying. Dogs are incredibly attuned to the tone of our voices. They can pick up on subtle changes that we might not even notice. And stick around, because this next bit of information might just blow your mind. Here's a fun fact. Researchers have found that dogs process the emotional component of our speech in the same part of their brains that humans do. Isn't that awesome? But what does that mean for you and your four-legged friend? Well, it means that using an upbeat, positive tone when giving commands or praise can make a world of difference. Think about it. Would you be more likely to follow instructions for someone who sounds excited and encouraging, or someone who sounds bored and disinterested? Your dog feels the same way. But here's where it gets tricky. What if you need to use a firm tone, like when your dog is about to chase after a squirrel across a busy street? That's where our fifth technique comes in, the power of the low, calm voice. When you need your dog to stop or listen immediately, using a low, calm, and firm voice can be incredibly effective. It's not about yelling or sounding angry. That might just confuse or scare your dog. Instead, think of it as your I mean business voice. It's the tone that says, hey buddy, this is important. Now you might be wondering, How do I strike the right balance between positive reinforcement and firm commands? Well, that's an excellent question. And it leads us to our sixth technique. Timing is everything. Timing in dog training is crucial. If you praise your dog too late after they've performed a desired behavior, they might not make the connection. The sweet spot is within 1 to 2 seconds of the behavior. It's like hitting the bullseye in a game of darts. Timing is everything. But what if your timing is off? Don't worry, we've got a secret weapon, marker words. This is our seventh technique, and it's a game changer. A marker word is a short, distinct word that you use to mark the exact moment your dog does something right. Many trainers use yes or a click from a clicker. It's like taking a snapshot of the behavior you want to reinforce. Here's how it works. Let's say you're teaching your dog to lie down. The moment their belly touches the ground, you say yes, and then you give them a treat. It's like telling your dog that's exactly what I wanted. It's so effective that even professional trainers swear by this method. Now we're more than halfway through our list, and I hope you're starting to see how these techniques can work together to create a communication system between you and your dog. But hold on to your leashes, because we're about to kick it up a notch with our eighth technique, the power of play. And trust me, you won't want to miss this. It's a fun one that both you and your dog will love. Did you know that play is one of the most effective ways to bond with your dog and reinforce good behavior? It's true. When you engage in play with your dog, you're not just having fun. You're building trust, reinforcing your bond, and creating positive associations with following your commands. Here's a little known fact. Studies have shown that dogs who play regularly with their owners are more responsive to commands and quicker to learn new tricks. It's like the old saying goes, work hard, play hard. Except for dogs, play is their work. But here's the million-dollar question. How do you incorporate play into training? Well, that's where our ninth technique comes in, training games. These are fun activities that feel like play to your dog, but are actually teaching them to follow your cues. One popular game is Find It. Start by showing your dog a treat, then toss it a short distance away and say, "Find it." As your dog gets better at the game, you can hide the treat in more challenging spots. Not only is this fun for your dog, but it's also teaching them to pay attention to your words and follow your directions. Now you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but what if my dog just doesn't seem to be getting it? Don't worry, we've got you covered with our 10th technique, patience and persistence. Remember, every dog is different. Some might pick up new commands in a matter of days, while others might take weeks or even months. The key is to stay positive and keep at it. Rome wasn't built in a day, and your dog won't become a communication expert overnight. But don't worry, our technique coming up will tie everything together and give you that aha moment you've been waiting for. And now for our 11th technique. This is the secret trick I promised at the beginning, the one that'll have your dog hanging on your every word. Are you ready? Here it is, the power of silence. Now I know what you're thinking, but stay with me. This last tip is the cherry on top that makes all the others work even better. That's right, sometimes the most powerful communication happens when you're not saying anything at all. It might sound counterintuitive, but hear me out. When you're constantly chattering at your dog, they might start to tune you out. But when you use silence strategically, it can be incredibly effective. For example, if your dog is jumping up on you for attention, instead of saying no or down repeatedly, try turning your back and remaining completely silent. The moment they have all 4 paws on the ground, turn back and give them attention. You're communicating clearly. Jumping means no attention. Calm behavior means lots of love. And here's a bonus tip. Why not try combining these techniques? Use a hand signal along with a verbal cue. Reinforce with a marker word, and then celebrate with a quick game. It's like creating a communication cocktail that's tailored specifically to your dog. Now, if you thought these tips were helpful, you're gonna love our next video. It's all about 7 simple hacks to improve your dog's life immediately. It's packed with easy ways to make your dog's tail wag even more. So click the video on the screen now. You won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.